Opera House Antiques on the right, however, Spinach Can Collectibles on the left. Nice job, Chester. Chester, Illinois is about a 1-hour drive south of St. Louis. Or you could go all Bear Grylls on us and build a raft and float downstream from St. Louis on the Mississippi River, and that would be about a 70-mile voyage, and you'd get here in maybe about 3 or 4 days. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen this already, there's a link down below that shows you an interactive map on all of the places that I've made videos on. It's really easy to use. All you have to do is click on the link to the map, and then click on a pin that will take you to a link of said place. Chester, Illinois might seem like just another town along the mighty Mississippi, but right across the river from Chester is a place called Kaskaskia, Illinois, which, believe it or not, was the first capital of Illinois. If you look closely, you'll see that the Illinois and Missouri state line forms a horseshoe around Kaskaskia. That's the route that the Mississippi River originally took, as over time the river formed a new course. If you want to know more about Kaskaskia, I have a video coming up later this week, so stay tuned. Anyway, did you know that Chester is home to Popeye the Sailor? That's right. We'll get into that and more as I explore the city that is Chester, Illinois. Well, let's get to it. Shall we? I do start the video on the northeastern side of Chester. If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. You can always keep up with the real time that it takes me to drive in the lower left corner of the screen. If I go too fast for you, or if you think that I'm going too slow, you can always adjust the playback speed by selecting the gear icon if you're watching on PC, or by selecting the 3-dotted menu if you're watching on a mobile device. Isn't YouTube great? Let's rewind that really quick, as on the right is Chester High School, and their athletic teams go by the Yellow Jackets. However, back to channel promotion, if you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the other featured playlists on my channel. Videos on other places like Chester can be found in my Mississippi Rivertown playlist, my Illinois playlist, or my USA Small Towns playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. My original thoughts of Chester when driving through was that it was different from all of the other depressed-looking Illinois cities and towns that make up the southern half of the state. Maybe that's because I entered on the nice side of town, but as I continued to drive through, I never thought that it looked like a depressing town. Now, I'm not saying that there are tons of things to do here to keep you occupied, as just like all of your other small towns, Walmart seems to be your best entertainment option. However, unlike many of the other small cities and towns out this way, Chester hasn't experienced extreme population loss. The first estimated population loss for Chester in modern times came during the last 10 years, as in 2010 the town had 8,500 residents, whereas today it's home to 8,200, so a loss of only 300 people. Chester is the county seat of Randolph County, which saw a peak population of 35,000 residents in 1980, and today is home to 32,000 residents. The median household income in Chester is $45,000 per year, and 17% of the residents live in poverty. Chester's income stats might be lower than the national average of $68,000 per year, but it's substantially better than the average southern Illinois town. Only 8% of adults 25 and older here in Chester have a bachelor's degree or higher, and the percentage of adults here with a high school diploma are 65%? You people in Chester need to stop drinking the water straight from the Mississippi River and study up on your periodic table of elements. Seriously though, you don't know what kind of contaminants could be floating in that water. Those education numbers are the ones that are listed on the official US Census website, and those might be the lowest numbers that I've seen in any city since making this channel. The median value of owner-occupied housing is $94,000, and the crime rates here are basically non-existent. Niche.com ranks the public schools here as a C+, which isn't all that great, and could be better, but a C+ is average. Nonetheless, however, to me it seems like Chester is doing slightly better economically given the median home value and income stats. The crime rates here are also very low, so that's good. But what's going on with the education? It's time to stop trying to be like your local folk hero in Popeye the Sailor. Obviously, I kid. There's nothing wrong with Popeye the Sailor. It's actually pretty neat. Popeye is basically the identity of Chester. Anyone that knows Chester thinks of Popeye when they first hear the mention of the town. There's a bronze statue of Popeye at a park that we'll get to towards the end of the video. The park that the statue is in is named after Elzie Segar, who is the cartoonist that created Popeye the Sailor. As you can imagine, Segar was from Chester and is by far and away the most notable person from here. Another person of note from here is Nora Lane, who was an actress from the 1920s to the 1940s. Now, back to Popeye. Every year, Chester hosts an event called Popeye's Picnic. It takes place on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that follows Labor Day every year. When it comes to the top employers in Chester, it's dominated by the Gilster-Mary Lee Corporation, which is a private food label company. It's headquartered in Chester and might be the lone reason that the town is doing better than most other southern Illinois cities. The other main employer in Chester is the Menard prison, which we'll get to later in the video, and we're actually driving past the headquarters of Gilster-Mary Lee right now as we go under this thing over the roadway. Let's get a better look at some of these storefronts. Oh, what do we have here? It's a statue of Bluto, the arch rival of Popeye the Sailor. Another unique fact about Chester is that back in the day, there was a shoe factory here called the International Shoe Company. During World War II, the company made shoes for soldiers in the military, so that's neat. The company closed, however, in the 1960s, which was way before my time. Now, I'm on the far northwestern side of the city, and I'll be turning left ahead, which will take me down to the Mississippi River shore. Chester actually sits on a pretty high bluff above the river, so flooding in the main town itself has never been an issue. In order to get to the river, however, there's only a few roads that you can take, and you also have to go on some pretty steep grades. Now, that wasn't at all a steep grade, you say, but wait until you see the route I took to get back to the top of the bluff. You haven't been able to see the river yet, as that's behind the tree line to the right. To the left, however, is the Menard Correctional facility. You don't want to be visiting town for that reason. Not only is it the second oldest operating prison in the state of Illinois, it's also the state's largest prison, as it holds around 3,400 prisoners. Further back on Illinois Route 3, I passed by a lower, medium security facility that's also operated by Menard. Obey the law of the land, kids, and you won't ever have to worry about going here. Unless you get framed for something pretty awful. That would suck. There's really not too much else down by the river, some railroad tracks, a few houses, and you can go underneath a bridge. The camera view doesn't illustrate just how steep this grade really is up ahead. Now that I'm back on top of the bluff, I'm on the far southeast side of the city. I'll pass through town one last time before checking out the Popeye statue and going over the bridge into Missouri. Opera House Antiques on the right, however, Spinach Can Collectibles on the left. Nice job, Chester. It's not the best view, but here's another statue from a Popeye character. This time it's Wimpy. Behind the statue you can see a mural of Bluto, in which we saw a statue of him earlier. Straight ahead, it goes without saying, as the letters on the building are nice and big, it's the Randolph County Courthouse. So now, as we get ready to head over to the bridge into Missouri, I pass by LZ Seagar Park, which is home to a bronze statue of Popeye the Sailor. Now, I have a confession to make. I didn't actually stop by the park to capture a nice view of the statue, so I'm resorting to Google Street View. Nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the other featured playlists on my channel. Videos on other places like Chester can be found in my Illinois playlist, my Mississippi River playlist, or in my USA Small Towns playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow my other social media accounts, and those links are below. We'll see you next time. Peace!